Hey everyone, it's career coach Mo Faul here for Motivational Monday. And you might notice something different sitting right next to me. I've got the marvelous, the famous, the soulful, the divine Debbie Grant. Hello, Debbie Grant.
Hey,
How
Mo.
are you?
Hi.
Oh, I'm so glad to talk to you. It's been a little bit since you and I have connected, and we got a chance to do that before we go live. This week, I am celebrating, and I'm just going to use that word. I am celebrating Black women's careers. And I should be more than matter, but that, of course, I'm keeping up with the slogan of Black Lives Matter. But Black women's careers matter. And the skills and the talents that are bottled up in Black women that I have seen through the time I've been doing this workshop. Debbie Grant, you're one of a brilliant thread of Black women who I have helped coach and watch just blossom and change. And you and I have gone deeper on the racial issues than I ever went with anyone prior to you. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about that because this topic to me deserves authenticity. And you have become a powerful, I'm going to use the word self-made, soulful, powerful woman in the world and in the planet. And we were just reflecting a little bit on your career clarity call that we had 3 years ago. And it may even be a little bit longer.
Almost 4.
Yeah.
Almost 4.
Yeah. So we've known each other for quite a while.
Yes.
And we've had the opportunity to work together in programs after the 12-week transformational Kickass Workshop. When we first got to know each other on that complimentary career clarity call, ring, ring, ring. Hi, Debbie Grant. This is Coach Mo. You ready for your call? Oh, God. Who was that Debbie Grant then?
I was in search of finding my soul. Ran across your Facebook ad and listened to a couple of the videos. And I'm like, who is this lady, Mo Faul? We had a connection with your breast cancer and the products and services that I provide for breast cancer women.
Yes.
I wanted to connect and see if you could help me bring my soul to work and enhance the services that I currently provide.
Yeah. Do you mind me just being honest with where you were at the time?
Sure, go ahead.
Because it might be a little bit difficult for people seeing you right now to imagine what I'm about to say.
Yes.
But here's the truth to everyone who has a clarity call. There's a reason why you booked that call, right? There's a reason why my ad or my webinar strikes a chord, because your soul is looking for some way out of the pain and misery of playing small. Yeah. And when we spoke on that original conversation, you were scared. Things weren't working out in the way that you wanted them for a while. You had left a corporate career that was working out pretty well for a while to pursue more of an independent life. And it was not that independent, was it? I always tell people who want to do their own business, be careful what you ask for. You go from having one boss to having dozens or hundreds of bosses.
Yes.
You were concerned that you had not picked the right path.
Yes.
You were concerned that you weren't going to be able to be as successful as you wanted to be in something that you felt was your passion.
Yeah.
And you came wondering, let's sort this out. I don't know if I picked the right path. And you were living out of fear.
Yes.
That was the GPS that you were using to navigate things.
Yes.
And a lot of women find themselves in that situation. You're not alone in that. And as you know, because you've been through my workshop and through my other programs, you've seen a lot of the women who've come through the work that I do. And so I know you know that you're not alone.
Nope.
What were some of the first things that you were able to claim for yourself that brought you into a higher level of power?
It's really interesting. During the workshop, there's a lot of work and a lot of reflection. And through that time period, you helped me understand that at 15 years old, when I learned to sew with my mom, and then navigating through college and working for some apparel manufacturers, understanding fabrics and textiles and what to put with what and how does it all come together, and being a full figure model for one of the renowned bra manufacturers, that bra is still sold on the market today as a full figure bra. And to know that I helped create and design that pattern
Yeah.
is phenomenal. And
Yeah.
so fast forward, corporate America experience,
Huh?
and then now serving breast cancer and lymphedema customers was a passion that I didn't even know I had until I went through the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And
It just came together in such a, I mean, you were doing the work, but I feel like you were thinking that you were like in the grind. It didn't matter. It was just kind of something that you were doing, and you
yeah,
lost connection with the purpose.
yes, I
That's the first,
wasn't,
that was the first break.
the dots were there.
Mm-hmm.
And so your phenomenal team and program just helped me connect the dots. And I was like, oh, that's why I did that. Oh, that's how this is connected to that. Okay. Um, and it is my sole purpose.
Yes, yes. And so making another U-turn and going back into corporate America in a different type of role seemed pretty obvious not to do it at a certain point. At, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks into the workshop, it was pretty evident that you were in your soul's purpose,
Correct.
in your genius zone,
Yes.
and connecting the dots lit up your soul. It
Yes.
didn't just intellectually da 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 da. Your soul began to get more lit up, and you started being a different version of Debbie Grant.
Yes. Yes.
And probably around that time, you and I started having some racial conversations, didn't we?
I remember a call, you asked me a question, and I said, Mo, I'm not going to talk about it. And you just kept pulling it. And I think the purpose for it now is what brings us forward to today.
Yeah.
Creating an awareness and sharing some of the pain that we experience as Black women in our careers, which
Right.
are totally unnecessary, but
Yes.
it's been a learning experience, and the lessons build on top of lessons on top of lessons. And so now I'm able to navigate successfully
Mhm.
and stand in my power of who I am, the brilliant, magnificent, powerful soul that I am, and
Mhm.
help an abundance of women and men that need our products and services. So, um, yeah, that was pretty interesting. I didn't want to talk about it, but now it freed me.
Yeah,
Right? It was very freeing.
exactly. I remember one of the conversations that we were having in one of the coaching sessions. You were absolutely committed to the fact that you were being treated differently, and that you would be treated differently at an upcoming event as well, because you're a Black woman.
Yes.
And I was not willing to let you settle for that commitment. I just wasn't.
Right.
And not to put it in a lesser category, but it's just like someone saying they're not going to like me because I'm short, or they're not going to treat me well because I'm tall, or whatever. Again, Black skin is a physical attribute, right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
that's one of the things. Like I can't pretend I'm not Black.
Right.
I can't pretend I'm not short or tall or whatever. There are definitely some physical attributes that people come with that you can't change that. So even if the external environment has biases toward that physical attribute, the self has to move away from that bias.
Correct. Yes.
And I wasn't totally comfortable having that conversation with you, but I knew we had to have it.
Mhm.
I knew we had to crack that conversation open so that I could help you free yourself from that
Yeah.
commitment.
Yes.
And it wasn't.
And it in fact was very freeing. because sometimes you're in an environment, a work environment, and people don't get it. They don't understand
Right.
that Black women are very smart.
Mm-hmm.
We're very talented. We're gifted,
Yep.
and we can change the trajectory of the of our customers. And so, being able to have that conversation with you and really diving deep,
Yep.
I was freed,
Yes.
and now I have a different perspective on future experiences.
Yeah. I remember you also one time going to a particular area of your local city where you were sure that a particular patient was going to treat you a certain way because of the area you were going to.
Yes.
And we did some pretty deep coaching about giving you a different perspective on that.
Hmm.
And you were so blessed by that person.
Yes.
He
Yes.
treated you like royalty
Yes.
because you were able to, instead of
Show up.
from fear and your bias around that, you were able to show up as the gifted, talented soul. And I know that that's what God and our Creator wants for us all the time,
Yes.
for us to be coming from there.
Yes.
And I'm not blaming anyone who has their own historical perspectives on how they're treated, but our goal in life is to free ourselves from those shackles because we can't expect other people to treat us that much differently if we're coming with that expectation.
Yes. Change begins with be the change you want to see.
Mhm.
That was one of the discussions we had in the program, and I sat back and said, what do I want to see?
Yes.
And I started living and practicing what I want to see, how I want to be perceived, discussing or talking to myself with positive aspirations,
Yes.
affirmations,
Yeah.
doing my prayer and my meditation and preparing for my day.
Yeah.
And I have recognized that light attracts light. And so
Yes.
the right people will come
Yes.
that are ready to receive the light of Debbie Grant and receive all of the love that comes with it. So
Absolutely.
if I had not, pulled the layers on the onion or had you coach me through that, I probably would still be in the same place that I was 3 years ago.
Hmm. Well,
People have, because I changed
yes.
and I wanted to be the change that people see.
Yeah.
Um, it's a different world now for me.
Yeah. And your own personal soul and your body. I mean, when our soul is hurting, our body
Yes.
hurts.
Yes, it does.
As you know, I mean, the house of the soul is this physical apparatus we have.
Yes,
And when that soul is hurting, the
yes,
body is taking its toll. Now, you said you'd be in the same place. I'm going to tell you what, you would not be in the same place you were 3 years ago. You would have been tossed off the truck and you would have been bumping around on another road, lost and confused, because we're either going backwards in life or going forward. There's no staying put.
that's right.
So as you continue to grow in
Hmm.
your brilliance and in your soul's power and your strength, which, as we know in working together in the coaching I do, we are channeling our divine source, whatever individual people want to call it.
Yep.
I know
Every day.
you started looking different to your family and friends,
Yes.
started seeing a brighter light. Talk a little bit about how you were being perceived with this new bright light in your life.
Um, when you are in the program, we're giving tools, and there's a valuable tool that I have. It's the emotional guidance scale.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to recognize the emotions of other people, because sometimes other people bring these emotions, and from that you create a disbelief or a different perspective of what they're bringing to you.
Right.
And being able to climb the emotional guidance scale and in some cases bring them up to
Yeah.
that higher level And so once you're able to do that, there is no color. It's, the focus is on the joy and the peace and the happiness and the fulfillment.
Yeah.
And they're able to feel that connection as well.
Yeah.
So that's a very valuable tool for me when I come in contact with people every day, especially with COVID right now. There's a lot of people that are angry, they're hurt, they're fearful, they're
Yes.
afraid.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to let them know that everything's going to be okay, these products and services that we're going to provide you with is going to help you. I want your outcome to be successful. I want you to live a happy and peaceful life and prosper and thrive. Then you can raise them from one emotion to another emotion rather seamless. So it's a very valuable tool.
Right. Right. And when you're the energetic lifter,
Yes.
not out of greater effort, but because that's who you want to be in the world. Like
Yes.
it's a beingness that doesn't require extra effort. Now, does it take a little bit of focus, a little bit of discipline in the morning, perhaps, to
Yeah.
remind yourself who you are and to eventually shake off decades of something different?
Yes.
Sure. When you show up that way, I know it's going to take a second for you to not have to be as humble as you want to be. What difference do you think you've made in other people's lives over 3+ years because you've shown up differently?
Huge. It's so huge and impactful. The lives of my children, of my husband, my friends. I'm always excited. I mean, there are days where I may get a little down, but for the most part, I would say 95% of the time, I have a smile. I have something positive and encouraging to say. And that's what Black women bring to their careers.
Yeah.
That's what we bring, because we are women and we love our jobs and we love our work and we love what we do. We just want other people to see it.
Yes. Right. I mean, ultimately, that's what our soul is all about on
Yes.
this physical existence.
Yes.
See me as me.
Yes.
Look at me. And when you're around a small child, you see their soul, and that's what they're all about. Look at me do this. Look at me do that. Look at me do this. And they just want loving eyes on them. Human beings are the same when we're 3 as we are when we're 33, 53, 83, 93, 103. We want to be seen.
Yes.
And we don't want to be seen because of our color. We don't want to be seen because of our size or anything like that. We want to be seen at our soul level.
Everyone.
And that's what true human connection is all about. See my soul.
Yes.
And you have to let yourself shine at a certain level for other people to see that in you. Otherwise, they're just seeing your efforts, or they're seeing your fear, or they're seeing, the doing only. Like, look, when you do your garments and everything, you're fantastic. I have no doubt. Okay. But those skills coupled with a bright soul.
Oh, yes.
Game changer.
Yes. Yes. Game changer.
Game changer. Those skills coupled with fear and you're going to treat me poorly because I'm Black, or I'm going to lose a contract because I'm Black and that white person's going to get something over on me, or you're going to cheat me. Coming from there is just more of the same, right?
Yes. Yes.
So as we went through another wave of racial disparity awareness in this country, of course, on top of the pandemic, we had some conversations, and we had a conversation as a group of clients. We're actually going to re-air that interview, I think midweek. You saw on that Zoom call a room full of Black women who have stood in their power over the last years. That's who we need in the world in order to change the trajectory that hasn't changed enough. How do you feel participating in the world that needs more powerful Black women to stand in their power and know that you can. How does that feel for you?
Exhilarating. I'm thrilled and happy
Mm-hmm.
to see for us to be able to come together and share our different experiences. We had a diversity inclusion person. We had a phenomenal woman that is looking at state and local legislatures.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Women in healthcare that are doing phenomenal things in
Mm-hmm.
healing, working with patients of COVID-19 and
Mm-hmm.
sharing in the emotional challenges with them
Yeah.
and coming in contact with that virus on a daily basis. You know, women working in corporate America that's helping move business and commerce forward in
Yes.
light of this COVID situation. I'm often reminded of Hidden Figures, the movie Hidden Figures, and
Right.
how African American women are so talented
Mm-hmm.
that we built this country on our talents. I mean, there were African American women that were responsible and finally, after decades and decades, received credit for putting the first astronaut on the moon.
Yes,
um,
indeed.
and becoming engineers
Mm-hmm.
and changing the face of America.
Yes.
So it's phenomenal to be amongst those group of women, phenomenal women that
Yes.
are moving their careers forward.
Absolutely. I don't know if you can see the comments here, but Tarina says, looking so good. Debbie, you're awesome. Gloria says, Debbie is such an inspiration. Leslie Caldwell, Debbie Grant, you've made such an impact on my life. I celebrate all that is you. Tiffany, who's a new gal in our workshop, saying hi. And hey, Tiffany, I hope this is inspiring for you. Miliana giving you a heart. And Rita Jackson says, hey, Debbie Grant. Your fan club is emerging.
Yes, and it's interesting, you know, when I went to my first retreat with you, um, I was, you know, I want to go. I
Mhm.
have to go to really build my love and my light to share with the world because they need me. The
Yes.
world needs me.
Yes.
Being that positive inspiration when other people are down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being able to say something funny to
Mm-hmm.
lift their spirits or take them away from any anxiety that they may be feeling at that moment.
Right.
And I said, Mo, I'm going to take the bus if I have to.
You
To
did
go to
say you're going to take the bus.
and you know, a wonderful philanthropist don't gifted an airline ticket. My clients saw the change from the program in my life, and they supported me to come. One of my friends brought my beautiful dress that we wore for our final event,
Yeah.
and then to come, you know, to be the first Black American woman at the retreat. And what a retreat it was, ladies. Oh my
Yeah, that was a really, really great experience.
God.
We were in a big, beautiful home in Miami. And one of the cool things about that venue for that retreat was that everyone got to see what a multi-million-dollar home looks like to live in for the weekend, to be in, to experience the size
Abundant.
and the scale of that. And as you know, in my wanting an experience for my clients, it is all about dream about possibilities, be able to see
Yes,
what's possible for you, be able to see what the abundance of God's beneficence looks like, whether you have it or not have it, it's out there.
yes,
And there is an access to it. There is a vibrational place to live and breathe and have your being that resonates with those things. And
yes.
and one retreat, I guess, wasn't enough for you.
So I left that retreat and I was thinking, you know, retreat number 2, there were 2 Black women there.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, wow, we're coming we're having an awakening. We're
Yes.
understanding that our careers matter, and
Yes.
we're networking and meeting with a phenomenal group of women that
Yes.
are encouraging and
Yes.
moving us forward and getting all the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So we had our third retreat,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a different retreat. It was virtual.
Yep.
3 days of magnificence, soul diving, soul enrichment. I came out with a higher level of love and gratitude, and being able to show up as a Black woman in my career.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 5 ladies there. So we
Yes.
went from 1 to 2 to 5. And it really just
Yeah.
opened my heart. I felt so thankful and honored to have moved to that place where more Black women can
Yeah.
start having experiences such as, the experience that I had at my
Right.
retreat.
Absolutely. You know, as you know, and some of the women here know, our work starts with a clarity call. We
Yes.
have got to understand what's really going on with your career to know if we can really help you, because there are career problems that we can't fix.
Right.
So that's the beginning. And folks, if you're listening to this, if you're a Black woman who has a profession and it's not where it ought to be, and you've hit too many roadblocks and too many obstacles, book your complimentary career clarity call. Honestly,
Oh,
that's how it gets started. Debbie Grant and I know each other for over 3 years now because she booked that call and she said yes to herself for the 12-week transformational workshop that we have. And that is the beginning of it all. It's mofaul.com/live clarity. Every single year, Debbie, more Black women come into my program, more book calls. And here's the one thing I want to tell you. We have complimentary career clarity calls with women of any color.
yes.
Black women are always the more educated and underemployed and underpaid than any woman sector out there.
Yes.
And it's a freaking shame. But as I discussed with a couple of other of our Black women who are going to be interviewed for this week, the studies are out there.
Yes.
Black women are basically not accessing and not allowed to access, or don't have the access points to power, networking, bringing themselves up, or having other people help bring them up and open doors and have them navigate things. It is a ritual of success
Mhm.
that if other people look like you will bring them forward.
Yes.
I mean, that's human beings wiring. It's no excuse for why we don't do it, but that's something that is being, I think, addressed. I'm trying to address it in a powerful way.
One of the things that I learned through this program is I have a fiduciary responsibility to my sisters, to my queens, to my professional Black women,
Mm-hmm.
to help them in any way possible
Mm-hmm.
that I can.
Yes.
And if it's connecting you to someone, or if it's writing a recommendation, or
Right.
if it's training you or educating you on some knowledge or information that I have, and keeping you in a happy place so that you can move forward and have an abundance. A lot of the sisters in our networking group, Queens, reach out to me, for motivational inspiration.
Right.
And, Debbie, I'm faced with this challenge, or this is what's going on. And I will stop and stop and help them, because I want them to be successful. I want them to live a happy life, a peaceful life, and
Right.
more career advancement.
Yes. Yes. And I appreciate having had a hand in that, so that you have
Yes.
what you need to be able to be that support, rather than perhaps being a shoulder of same old, same old.
Right.
Because to me, once you have developed as a more evolved human soul on this planet with your power,
Yes.
now you can truly inspire and give others when you're not in that zone, when you're fear-based, when you're, I know, isn't that a damn shame that because we're Black women, we're not allowed. I mean, if that's where you're coming from, you're only helping the problem, right? So
Right.
you're now coming from a place of empowerment, possibility,
Yes.
power, soul, lifting up others. And to me, that's what God created us for.
Yes. And I'll say to them, I'm sorry this has happened, but let me put you in contact with so-and-so, or let's get you some information on this or that.
Right.
And or make sure you go to the retreat. Make sure that you're exposed to the coaches. Don't forget about the coaches are there. Don't forget the modules are there.
Right.
So you have lifetime access to the modules. You have access to the coaches.
Right.
And so with all of these tools, you can't help but to be successful.
Exactly. The only way of not being successful is to not lean into it, as you and I have spoken over the years. You have a little star on a something behind you.
Yes.
Your number one badass award. As you know, because you were there, but at the virtual retreat we had this year, one of the things that we celebrated was every woman's soulful rising up. Not to replay that particular intimate, wonderful night, but how would you like to honor for yourself and actually show everyone who's watching this, Debbie, what does a healthy, soulful, aligned, powerful woman look like when she's talking positively about herself, which is absolutely 100% allowed? Let's go there. Give yourself a hand on who you've become and what you're now all about in the world.
So when we received our awards, we gave our speech, and my speech to myself was, I love you. I love you, Debbie Grant. Thank you for sending your soul through this journey to be connected, to rise and shine.
Yeah.
I forgive all of the past challenges and hurts that I've gone through. And I'm sorry that we didn't do it sooner. And I love where I'm at right now. We had a check-in on Saturday, and the question was, how is your soul? And I said, my soul is on fire.
I've heard that somewhere.
My soul is on fire, and I'm so excited for the future.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what's happened in the past. I'm excited for the present, and I'm just ecstatic for the future. COVID is challenging, but if you do your work, if you dive in and you command your morning,
right,
it's going to command the day that you're looking for,
right,
before you go to bed.
And the days build on to commanding your week, to commanding the weeks that build on to commanding the month. Correct. And before you know it, you're like 3.5 weeks into this uplifting journey, and your life has changed forever for the good. And I know you've got a young son still at home.
Yes.
And I know that you have been a better mom for him.
Yes.
I know that for sure.
Yes. And no, there's a statement that says, I'm not really quite sure how it goes, but if you do something consistently, is it 21 days?
Yeah, that's the beginning part of it. Yeah. And then 90 is the next level. Yeah.
Right. So if you do something for 21 days consistently, by the 21st day, 22nd day, it becomes a habit.
Yes.
You just automatically respond that way, or automatically set those parameters in place for commanding your day. And it will change your life forever.
Yes.
I mean, I'm 4 years into it now, going on. I wasn't a morning person when we first started.
Matter of fact, you were like, I am not a morning person, and I am not going to be a morning person. You can't make me do it.
Right. I remember there was an exercise and it required us to wake up before dawn. And it was the hardest thing that I had to do, was to get up at 5 o'clock that morning to catch the sunrise. It was a specific special sunrise.
Right.
And
Yes.
I got up and I did it. And you know what? For the most part, I'm up between 5 and 5:30 every morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's become a habit now.
Right. If your son was lost,
Alex.
if he was lost and you had to find him, you would stay up all night looking for him.
I sure would.
You would move heaven and earth looking for him.
Yep.
And most mothers would do that for their kids. But when we are called to task to find ourselves, we put limits on it. I wouldn't do that. Nah, I'm not going to go that far. But really, when you boil it down, you can't be who you want to be for Alex if you're not your best self. You can't be the wife you want to be. And I know your husband went through some challenges last year personally.
Yes.
And I know your mom had surgery. Like,
yes.
You can't be the most awesome version of all those other parts if you haven't put yourself first to find your soul and to build it up and to save yourself from making this hell on earth rather than heaven on earth. Because we got a choice.
Yes.
And most people choose hell on earth.
Nope.
And then they're condemning their creator all day long.
Not me.
No way. Right on. So I love.
And it's interesting, Mo, until you know what feels good.
Yes.
When I first started in the workshop, all I had was a lot of pain.
Yes.
But then as I moved through those pains and I started experiencing what really feels good.
Yes.
Right? I want to stay in what feels good. It feels good to be over here.
Yes.
And I'm going to stay here. And you recognize when it comes.
Yes.
As a Black woman in my career, I see things before they even start to happen.
Yeah.
And because I know through the tools and resources that's been provided, I'm able to change the fate of what could be to what I want it to be, because I'm able to recognize the challenges as a Black woman in my career before they get here. And I can say, oh no, we're going to raise you up to the happy level.
Yes.
And come on with me. And then as a result of bringing them along, I now have an abundance of joy, prosperity, happiness, and goodwill towards men.
Yes, indeed. And I know that each aspect of your life that wasn't where you wanted it to be, you've now over the years taken time to look at that aspect and build it back up, change it, alter it to the way you want it to be, retool it, take charge. Yes. So when you become an enlightened human being, personal responsibility is now just what you do. It's not a choice. It's like things that are not where you want them to be. It's like this has got to be taken care of. And no matter what dimension of that is with your life, whether it be health, finances, your home, your son, whatever. I mean, pick it.
Yes.
Everything you have consciously chosen to up level, because when you have created your own powerful vibrational you have to have a life that matches that. So everything that's not quite there gets up level, because that's how you're living.
Rise. There's no choice but to rise.
Exactly. So I know that your business and what you're doing has risen. I know that it was your soul that rose first, and that's the way that goes.
Yes.
And our life is a reflection of where our soul's at. And that's a brutal truth to people who are in pain and fear.
Yes.
It's a wonderful way that the universe works when you figure out how to pull the levers in the direction of feeling awesome, because then feeling awesome shows up in your world.
Yes.
Wow, isn't this a
Yeah.
wonderful world that the creator put together?
Yes.
Like, all you have to do is choose your awesomeness, choose your
Yeah.
divinity, choose your
Yeah.
best self, and then everything starts to match up to that.
And even, recognizing that we have a network of phenomenal,
Phenomenal. Yes.
badass, soulful women that
Yes.
if you do feel a certain way, you just have to type in a message, and
Right.
the responses can be anywhere from 10 to 300
Right.
women responding and saying, Debbie Grant, wake up. Come on now. We're gonna get through this. And
Right.
before you know it, you snap right out of it because you're able to lean into the support and
Yes.
lean into the tools that are available for you to have a successful career.
Yes, absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, what Debbie's referring to is once you join the 12-week transformational journey in the Kickass Workshop, not only do you learn tools and techniques that maybe a lot of your friends and family don't know, and they might think are weird or whatever, um, you meet beautiful women on that 12-week journey. And then, because I believe in community and I believe in a strong sisterhood, all the women who now have that vocabulary and those tools get to hang out in a graduate community. So everyone who's been through the workshop can lean in and lean on all of those gals. And now everyone knows how to live in an empowered way, how to lean into their soul, how to develop things, how to commit to their morning ritual, all these beautiful things. This is now a group of women who know how to support each other. And as you know, Debbie, before COVID came along, our ladies met in person. I know you met in person with the gals in your local community, and that was one of the most fun aspects. And it'll come back, I'm sure,
Yes.
to actually have in-person beautiful connections with women all around the country. And I know you've been to the retreats in person and met a lot of women around the world, actually.
The world.
Yes, yes. And that's also, to me, one of the great things about continuing an up-level life. If I were to toss you back into all the people that perhaps participated in kind of showing you what you're not, and all right, go have at it, it would not be as fruitful. But being able to be lifted up and continuing to have access to the tools that we have and also the community, I think just keeps your journey alive for you. And
one of the things I will say too is if you haven't been back in the modules in a while, oh my gosh, you need to go back. It seems like every month or once a quarter, if not more frequently, something's changing in the modules. And
right.
you'll end up reaching out and saying, hey, well, this was over here. Where is this at now? Because
Yeah.
things are moving and shifting and new content is always being added. And you just keep sharpening your tools.
Yes, absolutely. And you get better at it. So maybe something you heard or watched 2 years ago, you now listen to it now. It's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. I
Relevant
didn't
for
hear that
today.
2 years ago when I was listening to it. Debbie, if you were to talk to a young woman or any age woman who is on the other side of their career, meaning they're not quite happy, they've been passed over, they're wondering why their life and their career isn't really panning out, and they're scared, what would you say to her?
Jump.
It's all about that, isn't it? It's just a simple little jumping into next, right?
Yeah, I was there,
Mhm.
and I knew I wanted to go into the program, but I was apprehensive.
Mhm.
And you sent me a video by Steve Harvey. If you haven't seen it, it's called Jump.
Mhm.
And I sat back and I watched that video at least 5 times. And in the video, he says, if you don't jump, you'll never know
Never.
whether or not you can soar. And
Yeah.
so I jumped,
Mhm.
and now I'm living my best life.
Yes. Oh,
I'm really, really happy.
yes. It shows.
Thank you.
And There might be some other people in your life who know the before and after like I do, but I know you right before you made a decision to propel yourself into something better and give yourself a chance at claiming something you knew was in your soul.
Yes.
To reacquaint yourself with, reignite. And you and I have known each other quite a bit over these years now, and the different coaching and the retreats and some of the advanced programs that you've been in. I love your story. I love who you are in the world. I honor and respect the fact that you did the work to shine yourself up. You don't just get gifted a brand new shiny soul. You gotta work on it, just like you would work on any home improvement project, right? I mean,
Yes.
you gotta do the work, and you have always leaned in to being a better version of you and to doing the work. And that, my friends, listening to this is what success is all about.
Yeah.
I could throw tools at Debbie Grant all day long.
Got
if
it.
she doesn't use them, if she doesn't use them, she's the same person.
Yes.
You used it all, Debbie, and I just, it's just so fun to talk with you, to see your radiance, to have had a chance to say hello again to your son in the background there before we went on air, and just really to know who you have become in the world. It blesses the whole entire world.
It sure does.
That you have become this version of you, and I know there's more ahead for you.
Yes, I receive. The better it gets, the better it gets.
That's right. That's right, indeed. Now you're living in sync with your divinity.
I'm happy for everyone.
Yes.
Just, thank you for your leadership and for your experience. Mo has all of these years in corporate America. There were some times I wanted to say, well, Mo, I think I should do this. And you're like, no.
I'm like, let me look at my encyclopedic experience. Yeah, no, Debbie, we're not going to, no.
No, we're not going to go that route. We're going to go this route.
Right.
And so having someone help guide you through a road that they've been down before leads to awareness, promotion, networking, resume building, relationships, bringing your souls forward. I learned all that through a phenomenal team at mofaul.com.
There you go. /life clarity / go to mofaul.com. So just to totally love on you, just another dose here, Debbie. I really cherish the fact that your personal commitment to being a better version of you has totally blessed the world. And thank you very much. Thanks for being my headliner here, for going live with me. It's kind of scary for a lot of people to actually be doing this interview live. Portia says hello for you. Black women's careers matter, not just because you're a better version of you in the world, because you're making more money for your family and your future and for yourself. And you are showing other Black women, showing other women what it looks like to be powerful and capable and brilliant in the world, and that is what we are meant to be.
Yes.
I don't want any woman apologizing for her power, apologizing for being smart and talented. Done is that. You are a brilliant force in the world, and I love it.
Thank you.
Really, really bless you for having done the work to be this version of you. And I know that there's more. I know that you're going to be shining brighter and brighter every day, every week, every month, every year. And we're going to have this conversation over the years. And it's just going to be like, can you believe? You keep on being you, Debbie Grant. And it's been my pleasure to help you. Certainly our relationship just keeps getting better and better and deeper over the years. Thank you so much for kicking off this beautiful week where we are showing Black women's careers matter and the brilliance of what it looks like to be a shiny soul and a Black woman on this earth in this time making massive contributions. Thank you so much for this, really.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mo. It's my pleasure.
Yes, indeed. We'll
Have
talk.
an awesome week.
You too.
And thanks, everyone. Motivational Monday.
She's here in person. Thanks, Debbie Grant. So great. Folks, mofaul.com/live clarity is how this whole thing gets started. Debbie Grant and I met on a clarity call, and I knew I could help her, and she said yes to herself. And that's why she is who she is today. Thanks again, Debbie. We'll talk to you soon. Folks, next up, 8 p.m. tomorrow, you'll see another beautiful interview. And we're going to keep showing these and bragging about our gals really, really coming into their power and coming into their own. Thanks again, Debbie Grant. We'll see you later.